Mission Impossible was released in 1996, was directed by Brian De Palma, and it stars Tom Cruise, Jon Voight, Jean Reno, Ving Rhames, and Emmanuel Barrett. Mission Impossible sees Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, framed for the murder of his IMF colleagues during a routine mission in Prague. Ethan then sets out to find out who the real traitor is and clear his name. As always, guys, thanks for supporting this channel. If you are new to this channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button so you can follow this channel. Hit the alarm bell as well so you can get notifications from me when my video is going to be uploaded. And give this video a like as well. And I'm going to be reviewing every Mission Impossible movie up until the release of Mission Impossible 7, which comes out next year. Mission Impossible was one of my favourite TV shows growing up when I was a kid. I just loved coming home and just watching that and seeing Peter Graves as Jim Phelps get his next mission and assemble the team. The opening sequence featuring the brilliant and iconic theme tune by Layla Schifrin, to the legendary guest stars from Martin Landau to Leonard Nimoy. And I particularly like the fact that Greg Morris, who played Barney, the electronics expert, was an equal to his crew and wasn't a subservient character. The 1996 version of Mission Impossible sees Tom Cruise stepping into the action genre and becoming a bona fide action star. Even though 10 years prior to that, he starred in Top Gun, which was released in 1986, he didn't tackle the action genre that much. He did more dramatic and comedic roles, such as Born on the 4th of July, Rain Man, A Few Good Men, The Firm, Jerry Maguire, and so forth. And here we see him tackling the spy genre. Mission Impossible has to be the most plot-driven of the movies. And this film keeps to the tone of the original TV series and is a nod to the espionage thriller, where we are dealing with a missing list that contains spy names. And this film is a nod to the Cold War. Even the locations, namely they film in Kiev, Prague, the Czech Republic, London, and it reminds me of other spy films that were released in the 1960s and that dealt with the espionage genre, i.e. The Spy That Came In From the Cold and the Ipcris Files. The plot for Mission Impossible is one that you have to pay attention to. It's quite complex, and whilst it did receive criticism for how convoluted the plot can be, it is one that you have to pay attention to. And that is a rarity and not necessarily a bad thing. Because for a film that was released in the summer of 1996, you usually have your mindless blockbusters. And it is really intelligent and a very well-paced thriller that has all the hallmarks of a mystery. I.e. who has betrayed who is really the traitor, who is Job 314. And I feel that this film is more espionage than action thriller. It's really interesting in the fact that there are no shootouts in this movie at all, compared to the next further installments in the franchise. What was really interesting from Mission Impossible was to see the transition of Ethan Hunt from the first film to the sixth film. The Ethan Hunt that we get in this film isn't the same Ethan Hunt that we get in future films. Ethan Hunt is an emotionally attached agent. He is invested in his team, he's invested in the mission, he feels betrayed by the IMF, and even in the final sequence of the film, he's unsure whether he'll return because he's unsure why he wants to do this. But more importantly than that, he is more of a cerebral agent. This isn't an agent that knows how to defend himself. In the final act of the film, where we see Ethan discover who Job is, and he gets into a hand-to-hand confrontation with him, he gets beaten up. And that is a stark difference to how we see Ethan in further Mission Impossible films, where he is proficient in hand-to-hand combat and weapons training also. Brian De Palma brings a lot of psychological elements and tension to his movies, which he has done with such films as Carrie, Scarface, Untouchables, and he does that here with Mission Impossible. There are some key signature shots that he always uses. There are a lot of overhead shots. And more importantly than that, there are some close-up shots. Especially where Ethan meets up with Kittredge after his mission goes wrong. And Ethan realizes that the mission was a mole hunt. And he realizes that some of the people who were actually at the Prague embassy that day are actually in the restaurant watching him. And just how Brian De Palma utilizes the camera for up-close shots, panning around to see the other agents who were there at the embassy that day, just added to the tension. And we get to see another element of Ethan, which is someone who is not very trusting and very vulnerable and be quite distressed. Mission Impossible has a very solid cast. Brilliant big box office stars as well as brilliant character actors who all keep the film moving smoothly. From Jon Voight to Vanessa Redgrave, Jean Reno. My favourite character was Ving Rhames as Luther Stickle. Ving Rhames has a deadpan delivery about him. He has done it comedic-wise in such films as Dave and Striptease, and here we see him play electronics expert Luther Stickle, and he was just been an excellent addition to the franchise. Danny Elfman composed the score for this film. Danny Elfman was responsible for composing the musical scores for such hits as Batman and Spider-Man. And the score is just perfect. Capturing the old school Cold War genre, but more importantly, it matches every scene perfectly, from the action to the tension to the suspense. And I liked how he utilised the old school Mission Impossible theme in the finale sequence in the Channel Tunnel. Mission Impossible has aged brilliantly after 25 years, and there are some fantastic visual effects shots. The Channel Tunnel sequence, the face pulling, all done by ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, Hollywood's premier visual effects house, and it still looks as crisp as it did then. More important than that, Mission Impossible has some spectacular set pieces. From the water tank explosion in the restaurant to the iconic vault sequence, which has been parodied by numerous films. And the Channel Tunnel sequence, which is not only one of the best action sequences ever put in the Mission Impossible franchise, but it's also one of the best action sequences ever committed to film. If I have one criticism of Mission Impossible, is that the final act of the film was a bit of a letdown and could have been more tighter. So on the train, in the finale sequence, we see that Ethan exposes Claire, Jim's wife, and Jim Phelps as double agents. And Ethan goes, Claire was wrong about one thing, when she says that no one else has seen you alive. He puts on a pair of glasses that has a camera in them, and Jim realizes what he's doing. And the scene cuts to Kittredge, who's also on a train, who has a watch, and when he puts it on, he says, "Good morning, Mr. Phelps." Jim realizes that he's been exposed, and Ethan goes, "I'm not the only one that has seen you alive." That scene didn't work as well as it could have been, because that could have been any pair of glasses. How did Kittredge know to wear the watch at that time? I just felt that if Ethan had a phone in him or something, and the phone rang, and Ethan picked it up and said, "Okay, this is for you," handed it over to Jim Phelps, and then Jim Phelps could have been greeted with that iconic Mission Impossible greeting, "Good morning, Mr. Phelps." And I felt that would have been a much better way to expose Jim Phelps, but they never did it like that. But Mission Impossible was not without criticism from some of the original cast members. Several members of the original Mission Impossible TV show did not like the fact that Jim Phelps was made to be a villain in the movie. Martin Landau didn't like it. Even Greg Morris, one of my favourite characters from the original TV show, he called it an abomination and walked out halfway through the movie. Mission Impossible is an intelligent thriller and one of the best installments in the franchise. A very solid espionage thriller that relies on tension rather than action. But Mission Impossible has great direction, great performances, it's beautifully shot, great cinematography, great visual effects, and a great soundtrack. So I'll give this one a very strong 8 out of 10. So guys, that's my review. As always, thank you for supporting this channel. Please keep on supporting it. There will be more reviews coming. Please hit that subscribe button so you can follow this channel. Hit that alarm bell as well so you can get notifications when my video is going to be uploaded. Give this video a like as well. Leave your comment with what is your favourite scene from Mission Impossible. Comment down below and I shall see you all in the next film review. Take care.